No, he won't be attending.
Okay. Well, at least somebody knows. All right. So this meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of November 10th, 2020 was included in the meeting notice sent to the Burlington County Times and Courier Post on January 8th, 2020, and advertised in said newspapers on January 10th, 2020, and January 11th, 2020, respectively, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building on January 9th, 2020, and has remained continuously posted as required under the statute. Instructions for internet access of the meeting was posted on our website, bulletin boards, and main doors the Friday before the meeting, and advertised in the Burlington County Times and Courier Post on October 20th, 2020. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk. So I'd like to start with the flag salute, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So the first order of business is to approve the regular committee meeting minutes of October 13th, 2020.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, vote please.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Let's do roll call. I skipped that.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Here.
Ms. Schneider?
Here.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Here.
Mr. Costa?
Here.
Mr. Klaus? is absent.
So we have the report section. I'll group them together. We have the tax collector, code enforcement, fire official, construction, and emergency service reports for 2020 to receive and file.
So move. Second?
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. So tonight in attendance, we have some members of the Hainesport Emergency Squad. So,
Actually, that is going to be postponed.
oh, we are?
To
Nobody
next
could
month.
make it?
The new members all have class tonight.
Okay,
So,
you did mention that. So
Yeah,
we're
next
tabling
month.
the whole thing. Okay, because I see some faces out there with the 39 on them. Okay, so request from resident Vanessa Klein of, is that Batona Trail Races to host a 24-hour endurance run at the Hainesport Municipal Park, 9 a.m., 12/31/20 until 9 a.m., 1/1/21, so overnight, New Year's Eve. So does anybody, what's your pleasure with that committee?
I say fine.
Yes.
We need to have a, Ms. Klein here?
no, I
Okay,
told her she didn't really need to come to the meeting. If there were any questions, I would be able to answer them for the governing body members. If you have any, I
So-
did provide you with a lot of.
this is interesting. It could possibly turn out like our food truck day, which was quite surprising to everybody that attended, or how well it was attended. So this, who knows, this could be something, something starting out that might continue in somewhat of perpetuity. So do we have anything to add about
Sure,
it? Is there
just to-
anything you know that I don't know about it? Okay.
Sure. So I had a conversation. She is a resident of Hainesport Township. This will be her first effort in coordinating. It's a 24-hour endurance run. So this will attract endurance runners from all over the country, if not the tri-state area. And they will utilize the paved trail, being mindful of anybody else that's here that's using the trail. And These athletes run for 24 straight hours.
Oh, sounds awful.
So you could have the food truck out there the day before, load up on the carbs, and run it off.
They probably would greatly appreciate that.
You know what? It might not be a bad idea if we had some, I don't, I mean, New Year's Eve, who knows where they're all at? But the
Sure.
food truck thing's getting to be quite popular, as everybody knows. And it's an event unto itself. So the next item is,
If I could
Go
ask,
ahead.
if I could also just add that they are willing to donate 10% of their registration fee, which is $200 per runner, to a charity of the municipality's choice. And I would like to offer a recommendation to make that donation to the volunteer fire company,
Great.
at least for this first
Yep.
race. And I think it'll be a great event, and I think the community would love to maybe come out and watch and see
Okay.
some of those crazy runners.
Do they take any breaks?
They do.
Yeah.
They do. They oftentimes will set up their own little tent, and if our fire official will allow, it would have like little small propane heaters. But they will have a first aid station. They have family members that stay and keep them nourished and rested, and they do take small breaks, but they pretty much run the entire time.
And it's
Does it
dark,
come
so
as
they
a
can lie
professionally?
about it. They
Right.
just say, I didn't take any break. No one saw me. It's dark.
No, they have electronic timers on their ankles, so.
I'm gonna
Weather
make,
doesn't matter?
I think I'm gonna come over here just to see what's going on. I mean,
Me
it
too.
sounds pretty neat.
Need a motion.
So can we get a motion? for
Yeah,
that?
so we're gonna ask for a motion to approve the
So moved.
24-hour endurance
Second.
race. Okay, great.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. And these are the kind of fun things that that really help make this a great place to live in town. So now we have comments from the public on agenda items only. So if there's a comment you would like to make on anything on tonight's agenda, you will have a chance at the end of the meeting to make a comment about anything you wish. Anybody online?
We do have one person online, but she's muted. She would like to comment, she can unmute herself.
Okay, gone. We'll move on to our ordinance for tonight. We have ordinance 2020-8. It's a comprehensive ordinance amending the Township Code as part of Hainsport codification process. We talked about this, I think, a couple meetings ago. So, John, if you'd like to pick the ball up.
Sure, Mayor, thank you. Once again, as you did last meeting when you adopted the first set of these ordinances, this takes from Chapter 85 through, I think it's 161 of the code book. And again, it's a matter of cleaning up old ordinances, changing language to reflect current either terminology or statutory requirements, and in a couple of cases, repealing ordinances that simply don't apply to Hainsport anymore. So it's a cleanup.
And again, that was a quick dissertation on a lot of work that's going on. It's very involved and takes a lot of time. And I appreciate Paula and John for tackling that. It hasn't been done in a long time. So with that, I would ask to take a vote.
So moved. Second.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. So I still get these ordinances a little confusing. We do, do we need we need any public comment on that?
No, not on this one. The public hearing will be
Next-
December 8th.
Next week, next time, next month.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I always get, I only have one meeting to go and I'm good. So we have some resolutions tonight. Resolution 2020-160-11. It's something I'm going to ask Paula to explain, authorizing cancellation of outstanding checks.
So this is just, again, end of the year cleanup. There are 3 checks. I apologize, I don't know specifically what they are for. One is for $25, one is for $20, and the final one is for $419.79.
So moved to pass the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. The next resolution is 2020-161-11. This authorizes and directs the Hainsport Township Joint Land Use Board to cause a preliminary investigation to be made pursuant to local redevelopment and housing laws as to whether a certain area located at the corner of Route 537 and Moran Highway is a non-condemnation area in need of redevelopment. It's pretty much the empty farm on the corner over here.
Mr. Mayor, members of the committee, if I can ask you, before you vote on this, if this was my error, it is not to be referred as a non-condemnation area in need of redevelopment. Instead, we didn't think that it constituted redevelopment or qualified, but it would probably qualify for rehabilitation. So the title of the resolution would be referring it to determine if it is an area in need of rehabilitation. And throughout the resolution, where the words area in need of non-condemnation redevelopment are found, it would be changed to simply an area in need of rehabilitation.
Okay, that's
the
fine.
referral.
That's
My
fine.
bad.
Any questions from the committee on the resolution? Any further explanation needed? Okay, we're open for a motion.
So move. Second.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Costa?
Yeah, I have to recuse myself on this one.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. So Resolution 2020-162-11 is a resolution authorizing grant application for FY 2021 Community Development Block Grant. Can you help us out with that one?
So every 2 years, Hainesport Township is eligible to apply for this Community Development Block Grant. And for this application, we do not have a designated census block tract area identified, and they use data from 2015. So as you recall, in the years past, we've done a lot of work doing the sidewalks and the curbing on Cottage and Edwin and Washington and Broad Streets, because those particular areas were identified as eligible to receive these direct monies through HUD. Hainesport Township does not have an identified census block. However, we're allowed to do a project that benefits the entire community. And we already have in motion the 2019 Municipal Park Development Grant, and that is to remove the old section of the playground here finally, the front piece that's right next to the tennis courts, and bring it up to date through 100% full ADA compliance, just as Hainesport did back in 2014, I believe, or 13 with the rear part of the playground. So we had already planned and budgeted for additional funds that will be needed to do that project. This grant would allow us to apply for, I believe it's up to, I think this round of funding is up to possibly $100,000. I might be mistaken on that amount. It might be $85,000. And that would be to get rid of the surface material and do the poured in place, the unitary surface material to match the side part of the playground. Right now, we've got 3 different types of fall zone material. We've got the wood chips in one little section, and then we have the poured in place, and then the front is the shredded tires. So the plan is to remove the old playground, install a brand new ADA compliant playground through the municipal park grant, and then apply for CDBG funding to pay for this up to $85,000 of the poured in place surface material, which is very costly. I'm currently working on getting that price estimate, but this grant is due and I would need to have all that information in by, I believe, December 12th. So this application is for that PIP surface material.
So this resolution authorizes that application. So we're open for a motion.
So move.
Second.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. Oh, here's why they're there. I knew. I knew. When we had the agenda meeting, this was on there. So, the next resolution, and this is a,
The community block grant, you need to open this last resolution before you can adopt it on public hearing.
say that again?
You need to hold a public hearing on this last resolution.
This is the one that needs a comment. Okay. I'm still learning this after 20 years. So, anybody have any comments on that resolution? We have to state that. That's why we have to have a solicitor here, keep us,
Actually, the administrator.
keep us
recommended
straight.
me,
So that's why, okay,
We all work
thank you.
together.
Thank you,
Team effort.
Paul and John.
All of
Keep
us.
keeping me straight all year. It's been a challenge for you. Okay, so here we go. All right. So this resolution authorizes the Hainesport Volunteer Fire Company to conduct a Christmas tree sale fundraiser. Now, where are we going to do this? At the firehouse? Yes. Okay. So we finally get a real Christmassy atmosphere in the little center of town. That's terrific. So anybody have any questions about it? It's pretty self-explanatory. And my understanding is this is an unusual occurrence in Hainesport since we categorically did not allow Christmas tree sales in town over the years.
Well, generally in that zone, it's disallowed for that type of an activity, but because this is our volunteer fire company and
Yeah.
it is a
Oh, yeah.
fundraiser, this
Absolutely.
resolution requests your authorization to allow
Yeah.
them to conduct it.
Because I don't recall, I think maybe over here we saw a couple at the, on 38 over the years. Maybe there was some Christmas trees or stuff. But anyhow, I'm real happy that you're doing it, and I'm going to ask for a motion.
So moved.
Look at that, we can't wait.
Well, I'll second it. I have a question. Are the trees going to be in the parking lot?
So they're going to be, we have it sectioned off, we sent a picture, and we decided into the senior rec center. There's parking spots right next to the firehouse, so we're going to kind of quarantine it in that section with lights, and that way we can kind of control the traffic of loading and, people moving in and out.
Yep, okay. All right.
It's the week of the 27th.
That's a good question.
Well, because there's activities going on at the street center in December, too, so that's why I was asking.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there'll be plenty of parking.
So the parking to the rec center is going to be available. It's the parking against the firehouse that's going to be fenced in with the Christmas trees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so all those parking spaces against the rec center are available. It's our parking spots against our building.
Okay.
Where the Christmas trees are.
All right, I'm with you.
When were you going to start?
Black Friday,
Oh, nice.
the 27th. So they're sold out. We're hoping that we're doing pre-sales and we're only getting 95 trees.
Okay.
So hopefully it'll go quick and it won't be all December.
Great.
Okay, well, we had a couple motions already, a motion
Yep.
and a second already?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. Yeah, well, you're more than welcome. All right. So we have some business licenses that are basically in your, well, I don't see them. Where'd they go?
On the back.
They're all in the back, yep. Okay, so we have those business licenses to approve.
And so moved. I'll make a motion to approve the business license.
All right.
Second.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. So, quick meeting. Comments from the public, again, on anything you want to speak about. Come on up, sir. Come on up to the podium.
I got a question, so I keep coming here and asking, nobody gets.
So, give us your name and address for the record, okay?
My name is Albert Squarlow, 117 New Jersey Avenue, Hainesport, New Jersey.
All right, that way we can enter it into the
I've lived
record.
here for 67 years.
Okay, terrific.
Okay?
Twice as long as
My
me.
question here is, say it right to you, do you have any type of help for seniors against taxes? Why I'm asking that is, how would you say it, right? I'm not asking to not pay school tax. I would like my school tax froze at a certain year. What I'm just saying is, if I'm 65 or 70, let's say I go on retirement, Well, I would like my school tax froze at that year for the rest of my life that I live here.
Me
Do
too.
yous have anything like it?
So I'm not a tax expert, but I don't think so. I think there's a little thing for military. Go ahead, John, if you know anything about the issue,
Yeah,
help me out.
you know, even though this is called a home rule state, it really isn't. Municipalities are not delegated the authority to modify what the state statutory scheme is, so Hainesport, even if it wanted to, would not be allowed to do that.
Well, you and I know right now, the governor just says we're not getting nothing or very little, and your social security check is only going up where your school tax kills me every time. I get $7. That's what I got my last social security. It sure didn't make your raise.
No,
Well, first of all, just so you understand, the school taxes are not the committee's rates.
no.
Right.
The committee gets blamed for a lot of things because you pay the taxes here, but if you look on, there's a bill list, every month or every other month, the township committee writes checks to the county, they write checks to the school board, they write checks to the regional school district. They're just the conduit for the money. They don't budget those, that's not their budget, it's not their money. They simply collect it because the tax collector collects the taxes for all of the districts, and then committee approves writing checks out to those districts for their share of the tax bill. So it's not the committee's taxes. The committee's taxes are, how much?
About 14%?
13.9%.
Yeah, well, your taxes for school is, how's it, $3,000 and something cents, and you're 2/3 of my tax.
The school is,
The school is.
the
not-
school is
Not
two-thirds.
these folks.
You're right.
Just the school, I'm talking the school.
Okay.
Right.
That's all I'm talking.
Yeah, they set their own rate, sir. We have zero to do with that. So the school taxes, I mean, I'm not going to say as they see fit, but as they need. And then we spend about 14% of your tax dollar, maybe closer to 15. That's what we run the township on.
No, the township running, I got that on my tax, I'm satisfied with that. What I'm trying to get to is, I live in the Heights, say it right to you, all these years, and I would say the Heights is 80% seniors yet. That one bus comes in, it don't pick enough kids up. And say it right to you, we don't mind the little school here, basically, but when you send them to RV, we got nothing to do with RV, the seniors. Are we saying it right? We
Yeah, I hear
do
you.
have with this, so that's why we are looking for somehow, in other words, I'll pay the school tax, I got no problems with that.
Yep.
But I'm looking for when I became 70, you say, my school tax is $2,500. Well, that's it. I can live in my home until I pass away. That's what I would like to do. That
gotcha.
by rights, you kill my social security, that means potatoes come off the table.
Yeah.
So somehow, we got to look something into the seniors here.
Sure. Okay, well, we appreciate your comment. New Jersey's not a low-tax state, for sure.
Right, don't get me wrong, I'll pay the school tax, I got nothing with that. But there should be, am I saying it right there? I'm 87 years old,
Yeah, Delaware does it.
so I gave you more school tax than, right?
Yeah,
My kids haven't when I was 40, the kids were done.
gotcha. Yes, sir.
So I would hope that yous would help into something that you can help the seniors. I
Always,
mean, not only any senior in Hainesport,
always.
all right?
Thank you.
I thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody online? Okay, with that, I will close public comment. We now have public comments from our administrator.
Don't have too much tonight to report, other than we received a couple executive orders this week and last week, particularly Executive Order 192, which Hainesport Township, we've been in mostly full compliance with the recommendations. However, one area that is now the governor has put to paper is the requirement of us mandating our staff members to do a self-assessment, a health self-assessment on a daily basis. So that was required to start on November 5th, so we've done that. I created a Google form, so all the staff members, when they come in within an hour, do have to self-report on their health, and all of that information is saved up to my Google Drive. So we're doing that. And then Governor Murphy also issued Executive Order 194, which I believe has been out and about already publicly, but this affects our local restaurants, bars. No food or drink is allowed to be served outside now after 10 p.m. Outdoor dining can continue after 10, as well as takeout and delivery services. The expansion permits for those that are selling alcohol, the state has allowed that to extend into, I believe it was March of next year, John? I think it's March, for a $10 application fee for those, for the two Hainesport bars that did take advantage of the initial expansion permit. I did communicate with them that that option is available to them. So it is up to them to apply to the state to continue to be allowed to sell alcohol beyond their four walls. Fortunately, John had the foresight of writing the ordinance in such a way that we don't have to make any more movement on that. So our initial ordinance will cover their ability to do that. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. John, have any comments tonight?
Just an update on the 104 North Cumberland Avenue. We were supposed to go to trial on that on Monday, the 16th, and so we're supporting the bank's efforts to eject the occupants of that property. Unfortunately, the bank wrote a letter to the judge last week saying that U.S. Bank has now assigned that loan to another servicing company, and they've asked the matter to be held on hold. So the trial is now off, and it's now scheduled for a status conference on January 21, 2021.
Comments from the committee? Lee, let's start with you tonight.
Yes, I'd like to congratulate Ken Montgomery and Bruce Levinson on their victory. I'd also like to mention that Jim Horowitz and Dave Moats did a great job, and they ran a stellar campaign. I'd like to wish everyone a happy Veterans Day. Thank you to all the veterans. My dad's a veteran, Bruce is a veteran, so thank you to all the veterans out there. And wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe.
Thank you, Lee. Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes, tomorrow is Veterans Day, and the Township of Hainesport, for the first time, is honoring our veterans with an appreciation luncheon. They're accepting cards from the community, those that want to say thank you to our veterans. There'll be a mail call type of a situation. There'll be some speakers and memorabilia at the street center for them tomorrow at 11:30. So if you'd like to get cards in here anytime between 7:30 and 10:30 would be fabulous. November 13th is story time for 2.5 to 5-year-olds. There's books are read and crafts are done from 10 to 11 a.m. at the street center on Broad Street. December 4th at 6:30 p.m. is our tree lighting event. There'll be a special Santa mailbox here and lots of toys, games, and special events going on at that time. December 12th is the Gingerbread House event. It's the second annual. To drop off your houses on the 11th between 5 and 7 p.m. at the street center. Viewing and voting on the houses are the 12th from 12 to 3 p.m. and the winners will be announced at that time. There's also a house decorating contest here in town that is an annual event. Judging will take place from December 19th to the 21st. The theme is We Need a Little Christmas. There'll be prizes for the top 3 homes that are chosen. Forms for the gingerbread house and the house decorating contest will be on the website. please fill out a form and make sure it gets back here to the township. And I'd just like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe.
My turn.
You got it.
Congrats again to Ken Montgomery and Bruce Levinson. It's nice to know that as I leave the committee, the baton's being passed to two such fine candidates and office holders, and I've known these two gentlemen for over 20 years, and I wish you the best of luck. I expect great things from you as well. And you can always call me if you have any questions about anything in the world. Speaking of elections, let me just add a little anecdote. The election ain't over yet on the presidential side. They recruited me to be part of the Trump monitoring team in Pennsylvania. So I was in charge of the effort in Berks County. So I had the opportunity to stay in Reading, Pennsylvania, and monitor what was going on. And I expected to be able to check signatures to make sure that the right person signed. It's got to be somewhat compatible with the signature on record. And along with other requirements, which any person who completes a provisional ballot has to do. They have to put down their birth date, the reason why they're doing it. For instance, they may have lost their ballot or whatever. Well, I was shocked when I got there, and I was told by the county that I couldn't get close to the women that were compiling the ballots. They said that I have to wait because the preliminary analysis could only be done by the Board of Election employees, and that includes the checking of the signatures. And what they were doing, I happened to be there, staying there. I could see what was going on from about 6 to 20 feet away behind a plexiglass window. I could see several women. They were employees. They're all women for some reason. And they're all at their computer desks. They all had a computer, a desktop computer in front of them, along with a basket of ballots, which they would periodically replace as they were completed. So here we had one woman in charge of looking at these ballots, checking to see if signatures were made. And they all had pens on their tables, and for all I know, or anybody knew, any one of them, if they were of the mind, could have negligently or intentionally altered any particular ballot to make it passable or non-passable. And it dawned on me that all of the checks and balances that our framers made in our Constitution, you know what they are, the two-thirds majority of the Senate to overrule the presidential votes, the way everybody has the judicial oversight of judges over the legislative acts. Well, all of that can be undone, apparently, by the pen and computer swipe of a person sitting in front of a computer monitor in Berks County, Pennsylvania. So I was quite upset, and I registered my complaints, whatever good it was worth. Maybe I was a little bit too vocal. They soon sent the solicitor's office person down to have a talking to me. And I argued with him for a while, and when he ran out of answers to my poignant questions, he was helped by the member from the other party there. He was an attorney there, and he was speaking almost as if he was defending the county. And so they were kind of ganging up on me. And I was cognizant there were some nice security men with guns in their holsters nearby. And I kind of thought the better part of an hour I had to give up at some point, so I did give up. I had no choice. I registered my complaints. I called the headquarters, told them what was going on. I merely tell you this because something had to be done. I suggested that if they're too lazy to find bigger quarters where monitoring can be done, that they install video cameras, some type of closed-circuit TV, so at least a record can be maintained and can be verified later in case anybody wants to see, short of actually having a member from each party stand there and watch each person deal with these ballots. Something like that has to be demanded by the public, and that's why I'm telling everybody I know my little story. Thanks for listening, and have a wonderful December.
So I will be at the Veterans Luncheon tomorrow. If anybody wants to come by, feel free to do so. And that's all for tonight, folks, except we have a bill list. Does anybody want to pay some bills?
That's not all, but yes, let's pay the bills.
Yep.
You have an executive session too.
Yes, and we do. How long do you think the...
10, 15 minutes max.
Okay.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. Okay, so we're going to take a 5-minute recess. We expect the executive session for our solicitor to last about 10 minutes. Do we expect any action to be taken after the executive session?
You might, yes.
So we may take formal action after the executive session in the form of a vote on an issue. So let's take a 5-minute recess. Is that my one?
Yep.
Did you get that? Regular session, and we have a motion to direct John to prepare it's a resolution for the next meeting.
Wait, hang on. Oh, I have to do roll call, don't I?
Do you want to do roll call first? Yeah. To get us back in the meeting?
Okay, so we need a motion to open the meeting back up to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And now we need a motion to authorize John to prepare the resolution that was discussed in closed session.
Correct.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so with that, I will, would anybody like to do we have any more business?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay, great.
Stay.
Second?
Second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
All right.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.